Good morning, guys. So it's an early Saturday morning. I thought I'd do a quick review of these Nurglings which I've just picked up. So the Nurglings are brand new today for the Chaos Demons range for Warhammer 40,000 and Warhammer Fantasy. Now I've taken off the shrink wrap, but I haven't actually had a look inside. As far as I'm aware, you get 3 bases worth, that is for Warhammer or Warhammer 40,000, of Nurglings. So there you go. This box contains 3 sets of Nurglings. Okay, so it is a plastic kit. You can assemble it in a variety of ways. Reading through White Dwarf, they were quick to mention that there's hundreds of ways of assembling this kit, which I think is really cool. Okay, so let's get it open and see what it's all about. I'm going to be putting these into my Fantasy Demons army, which I actually built for Storm of Magic. Okay, so let's start off with the fun part, the instructions, or the destructions, as Black Legion Braskar would call them. So, as you can see, the pieces sort of slot together like that, and then they get popped onto that base. Now, my recommendation might be, rather than assemble them straight away, is to paint them and then assemble them. Okay? Just might be a bit easier. So you get all the bases you're going to need and more. So you get the square bases and the round bases. So those are 40mm bases. Okay. So you get 3 round and 3 square. Cool. So I'm going to have some spare round bases, which is always good fun. So the first sprue, there's 2 sprues to the box. As you can see, these big lumps of Nurglings are the ones that kind of slot together and you put them onto a single base. The individual ones, I think you can dot them around and put them on anything you want. So I've got to build a soul grinder for my fantasy army as well, because I want to make it more than just a demonic pact army for Storm of Magic. I'd like to have a small kind of 2,500 point Warhammer Fantasy army to use as well. Okay. So they'll be dotted around on my soul grinder, which is going to get converted, and you'll see that at some point soon. But I've got a lot of stuff going on at the moment. But there we go. So there's a lot of detail in these as well, guys. I absolutely love Nurgle. It's my favourite Chaos God. These Nurglings are just brilliant. They remind me of the original Nurglings from the 80s and 90s. They really, really do. They've got kind of that cheeky, charming characteristic, but it's also a little bit grim. And there's humour. So if anyone remembers, kind of in the mid-90s in the Warhammer Fantasy rulebooks, they quite often had little kind of comic strips at the bottom. And there was one for Nurgle, and it just reminds me of that so much. But there we go. Even more detail on these. So some of them have got their guts hanging out. The horns are really ragged. Some of them have got one eye. They remind me of the minions in Despicable Me. Quite a lot, actually. I'm not sure how I'm going to paint these guys. I'm thinking in a similar way to how the Heavy Metal team have done their 40k ones. Kind of green and brown. I might stick some kind of pussy, putrid yellow ones in there too. Maybe the odd purpley one as well. Just to break them up a lot and give it a lot of variation. Kind of play with the 3 colour rule. And then obviously have them quite gory. But there we go. So that is our set of Nurglings. I hope that's helped you out, guys. I'm going to really enjoy building these and painting these. I will be doing a painting video for these soon. I don't know how soon, because I've still got the grot tanks on the go. I've still got some more product reviews to do for Foundations of War, and just a few other bits and bobs. But cheers for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.